guys, welcome to the uplift just because the bottom is overcrowded. My name is Daisy with a Z. So welcome to yet another video. If you are a returning subscriber, I really truly appreciate you. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and I really hope you're here to stay. Please do click the subscribe button and become a member of my beautiful family. So in this video, this is an environmental video, and as you people know, as you guys know, on this channel I try to bring things in the simplest way possible. Environmental and academic videos, I make sure there's nothing sophisticated, just so even a grade 1 is able to comprehend my content. And so today I want to focus on environmental justice and the ozone layer, and that is because whilst I was on holiday, and NEM radio station contacted me. They wanted to do an interview with me, and they wanted us to talk about environmental justice and the ozone layer, but then life happened, so we didn't get to have that interview. So I was like, why not just grace my YouTube family with this beautiful content? So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be using visual aids so that we're able to actually think and look at the things together and not just think everything is abstract. So I'm able to show you some photos, some videos, and I'll do a voiceover so that we're able to actually see and understand what I want to lay out today.
'Cause I'm not just a pretty girl, I'm more than just a picture. I'm a daughter and a sister. Sometimes it's hard for me to show.
So for us to understand what the ozone layer is, let's first understand what ozone is. So ozone is simply a naturally occurring molecule that is made out of 3 atoms of oxygen. I'll not go into detail, but it's made out of 3 atoms of oxygen, and it's written as O3. And so the ozone layer is simply a term that we use to refer to a high concentration of that ozone, and this is found in the stratosphere, which I will explain in the next slide. Okay, so when we think about the atmosphere is something that is made out of various layers. Okay, so the atmosphere is a combination of various layers, and the lowest part of that is the troposphere. Okay, then after the troposphere, which is the lowest part of the atmosphere, we have what we call the stratosphere, which is of concern in this video because the stratosphere is where the ozone layer is found. Okay, so this one is found about 15 to about 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and then we have the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. So you can actually take some interest and research and read on those other parts. So in this regard, we're looking at the stratosphere, which is where the ozone layer is found. Okay, so now let me now tell you guys what the ozone layer does. So the ozone layer, would just think about it as a blanket. The ozone layer is like a blanket that shields us. So this is what protects the entire planet by covering life on Earth. By doing what it does is that it absorbs the harmful UV rays from the sun, which if directly exposed to the planet will have adverse impacts not only on the individuals but also on the natural environment. So from what we can see, this is what we call the stratosphere. And so what happens here is that the stratospheric ozone now is constantly produced by the action of the sun's UV radiation on oxygen molecules. So this is by a process called photochemical reactions. And what happens is that these UV rays, there's A, B, and C. So these ones cannot be seen or felt, but they're very powerful and they have the potential to alter or change the chemical structure of the molecules. So now let's consider what ozone depletion is. So in simple terms, ozone depletion is simply a gradual process in which the Earth's ozone layer becomes very thin, and this is as a result of various activities, anthropogenic, which are human activities, and also some actual natural processes, which we're going to look at shortly. But then what happens is that because of the release of chemical compounds, mainly these are bromine and chlorine, from various activities, so one fact is that one chlorine atom is able to destroy up to 100,000 ozone molecules. That's just how powerful these atoms are. So they can destroy ozone molecules faster than they are actually able to be created. So the continuous use of these refrigerators and other refrigerants or air conditioners, whatever that will be a source of CFCs, is very detrimental to the environment, because what happens at these CFCs now in the stratosphere, they break down now and then they release these chlorine and bromine atoms that I've been talking about, that now end up now destroying those ozone molecules. So you hear people talk about the fact that there's a hole in the ozone. So they're simply talking about the fact that the ozone layer is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Imagine you are walking and you're using an umbrella, and then all of a sudden that umbrella is torn, and so maybe it's raining or maybe the sun is so hot, and so you're able to feel now the hotness or the harsh rays from the sun. That's exactly what is happening to the Earth's planet. So the unfortunate thing is that the more we continue to indulge in human activities that are depleting our ozone, we're not only affecting the natural environment, but we're also causing adverse effects on ourselves as human beings and other living things. And so in terms of the environment, because of the fact that the ozone is being depleted, you find that there's an interference with photosynthesis, and so it reduces the amount of carbon dioxide that plants are able to process. And so you find that there's minimal growth of these plants. You find that there's low quality or bad quality of crops. You find that agricultural activities in the long run are actually very much affected. However, the human being is actually more at risk when it comes to ozone depletion effects. For example, we are talking about things like cancer. We're talking about skin diseases, which is very horrible. People are now aging fast, which is funny but serious. People are now aging fast. People are now having increased weak immune systems. It's terrible. Eye problems are becoming a common thing. So there are various effects that will be upon the human being simply because the ozone is being depleted at a faster rate. So one sad truth about environmental problems or environmental degradation or ozone depletion in this regard is the fact that some of the people or most communities that suffer the adverse effects have very little to do with the activities that result in that. And it's very, very sad because environmental burdens and benefits are not evenly distributed. So there's what we now call environmental justice, which is a core that is based on the principle that all people have a right to be protected from environmental pollution, and also they have a right to live in a healthy and clean environment. And so we're talking about the fact that there should be an equality or equity in terms of the way environmental burdens and benefits are distributed amongst us all. So I don't know if we'd call them types, but when you're talking about environmental justice, there's what we call procedural justice, which focuses on the fact that there is need for fair and meaningful participation in decision making where you don't leave anyone behind. And there's also what we call distributive justice, which has to do with equitable distribution of environmental risk, burdens, as well as benefits. Okay, so this is what environmental justice is. So for the very fact that our ozone is being depleted at a faster rate, there's been efforts, and one of them is what we call the Vienna Convention, which was the first international agreement that was dedicated to the fact that the ozone layer had to be protected, and this was priority. So this one, it commits all countries to take measures that have to protect human beings as well as the environment from anything that has to do with the modifications of the ozone layer. Okay. So apart from that, now we have what we call the Montreal Protocol. So the Montreal Protocol is on substances that deplete the ozone layer, and this one is a multilateral environmental agreement that aims at regulating the production and also the consumption of these man-made chemicals that they now regard as ozone depleting substances, or ODS. Okay. So because of this, now the Montreal Protocol, you find that this situation is being managed. They've banned the use of CFCs, but we still have a long way to go because you and I still have a role to play in order to manage the situation and also protect the environment from further deterioration. So now what can you and I do to just contribute positively to this cause for the protection of the ozone layer and also for the promotion of environmental justice? So there's something we can do as individuals, and the things we can do as communities and as groups. So number one, there is need to speak out. There is need to sensitize the public. There is need to sensitize your friends, your family on small things, on everyday life choices. Please go watch my very first YouTube video, which is on eco-friendly choices, that will literally answer the question to what can you do as an individual. We can also essentially please check the labels on our spray bottles, our household chemicals, especially those that have to do with pressurized cans, and also by all means try to reduce the use of products that contain CFCs. And also when it comes to transportation, please opt to walk or use public transport and not drive and pollute our environment. Also choose to dispose of electronic devices like fridges, air cons. I also have an electronic waste video, you can watch it, I'll link it down below. And also for those that are busy with agricultural activities, please do advise them for the efficient use of fertilizers, because we know that the use of these fertilizers are a great source of nitrous oxide. And so even you as an individual, also please opt to eat less meat. As I already stated, watch my very first video, eco-friendly life choices, and so on. And please, most importantly, I'll never stop saying this, please support and buy local products. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I really hope this was very educative. I will see you in my next video.